Welcome back to another episode of the 6 Yard Line Podcast with my co-host Noel. I'm Sean. How's it going, my friend?
It's good, man. It's good. It's Christmas week, all the festive stuff's going on, so it's always a good time, right? And we always like this time
Yeah.
of year, so.
Well, I will confess I'm a little lethargic. I had a company lunch there. We all went to Mandarin, and you know what Mandarin does to you? It doesn't really give you much of-
Sean's saying he's got a food coma, is what that is. So, all right, well, I got enough energy, I think, for both of us today because I've been on fire all day. Sean's in his
I-
food coma. That's why.
definitely.
It's City because they lost to City, right? Because it was Reinders and Haaland scored twice.
Oh, yeah. All right. So Villa took on Man United, and Villa's on fire right now. Like, they and City are the two hottest teams in the league. I don't know how many wins in a row they have, but I know their
10.
last 5, 10 in a row.
It's 10 in a row. It's the longest run since I want to say the 70s. It may be earlier, longer. Actually, I may tell a lie. I think it's since Villa. I think the last time Villa won 10 in a row was when the year they finished third before the Premier League was the Premier League, I believe.
Okay, so early.
It's been a
early
while.
90s?
It's 92-93 season would have been that last season.
So okay, but either way, they're getting and whether it's grinding out results, whether it's close games late, they're doing what they need to do. How long will they be able to keep this up? Who knows? But it was an entertaining game from my perspective, from a neutral watching. Now, not making excuses for Man United, but they were depleted. They were missing a lot of players. They didn't have a lot of resources to rely on the bench. Bruno Fernandes looked like, I don't know if there was something up with him, but he was off.
He's got an injury. Yeah, he's out for a couple of weeks.
So yeah, there you go. So they lost him. Mano, there's been a lot of talk with Kobe Mano not happy there, but I heard he got injured pre-game or before the game, so he wasn't. I think it was unused, or he wasn't even on the bench.
No, he was. Again, he took a knock. I think in the training or the warm-up or something. He was definitely not in. And then Fernandez, I think, his was a weird one. I don't know if you. I watched the game because I had it on, and he pulls up really weird, like with no one around him, which, in any sport, when you see somebody pull up with nobody around you, you kind of know. And then he stopped, and then you're like, okay, he's going to come off here. And then he's like, I think he then tried to give it a go because it was, I think, just a minute to 2 minutes before halftime. So I think he was like, all right, I'm just going to hang on, see if I can get through halftime. Maybe it'll cover. And then at second half, he came out and sat on the bench. So, and then United made a few shifts around, but like this game, like I'll be honest with you, like Morgan Rogers was the difference in this game. The guy's got 5 and 5. He's on fire. His first goal is a carbon copy of his second goal, or second goal is a carbon copy of his first goal, whichever way you want to put it. But I think there's a couple of things. I think if United's looking at it, United were never out the game. I thought United were unlucky to lose. I didn't really think. I thought if it had finished 2-2, you would have been said that's a fair result. United had some chances. They played well, and Villa played well in patches. But I think the difference is Morgan Rogers is just elevated his game, and he looks a very good player, and he looks very good coming in and cutting inside and just whipping that ball in. And he did it twice to United, and you take a shot, you get a goal, and it's just. I thought he played very well, but he was the difference in the game. And I think the only difference is United, you're obviously missing some really good players because obviously the AFCON's on. So, I think Mbuemo's gone. I think there's a couple others that are gone. You mentioned the injuries. I think Maguire's out injured. I think De Ligt's out injured. So, it's a very youthful young United team. I will say, though, the young kid that played centre-back, Heaven.
Yes. He impressed me. Woo!
He looked really good. Really good.
again, we're not, no way are we fans of Man United, but you have to give respect where respect is due. And that young lad stepped up and did not look out of place at all. Like he
No, he
would
looked good
tackle.
alongside Yoro. I think, and Yoro, he's a young kid too. Everyone forgets that they're young, but there's some promise there. There's some.
Mhm.
And I think that's what United need to get back to: just that young, talented players playing together, not these overpaid prima donnas with egos. And I think at the end of the day, that those two were like, I was really impressed with them. I thought they were very good. I thought, they really showed some real nice calmness and some composure on the ball that you don't always see from United. And I do feel for United because I don't feel they should have lost that game. I thought they had some chances, and again, it's just when you're missing too many players, and I think I said this to you last week. I said it today when Forest were missing Sangari. You've got a player that just in form, and then Mbeumo has been like that for United, right? He's been very good. He's been creating a lot of attacks. I think he scored 7 goals this year too. So I think he was very good. And then I thought Cunha was very good for United. I thought he looked lively.
Yeah.
He should have scored with that header to make it 2-2.
There was one time where I felt he was a little too selfish. Where it was in the second half, he dribbled it it seemed like from half and tried to go all the way, and that was a time where I'm like, you know what, you need to pass it off. There just
I'm going to disagree with you. Just go for it, buddy. Just go on.
He didn't even end up getting a shot on goal, right? And that's my point.
I know which chance you're on about, but I do think sometimes though, when you look around and you look at some teams, you look around, no one's creating anything for you. So sometimes you've just got to get the ball and just go, I'm going to have a pop or I'm going to try it. Yeah. And, I think sometimes it gets people going too, right? Your teammates going if you do that.
And we've seen him do it back in the day when he played
Wolves.
He was with Wolves, right? Like that wasn't something, the odd thing. He would do that on plenty of occasions just to, get the crowd off their seats, to totally change the game, things like that. We know he has that capability. I feel there's sometimes that was a moment where you could tell he didn't have the legs that he would have had in the first, 20 to 30 minutes, right? And that's the difference where you're not going to finish this one. You could see it in you could see when you're starting to get tired, where the defender's now starting to get a position on you. This is the time to lay it off. And if anything, maybe keep your run going, and you could, they might foul you, or there could be a perfect little chip right back to you. That would have been my play in a scenario like that. But regardless, it was still a good game. Good finishes from all the players involved. And I would have liked yourself, 2-2 would have been a fair draw. And I think from a standing standpoint, when you're looking at how hot Villa is, you kind of would like them to kind of like, slow down there, bro. We want to keep you in because right now, it's a 3-team race essentially. And then there's everyone else trying to see who's going to get into the next 2 championship spots, right? And when I mean everyone else, I mean everyone else, because, like you said, Spurs are only 7 points out of being in one of those spots. So,
yeah, exactly.
It's a big competition there. So, my selfish Liverpool fan is always happy when Man United loses and stays behind us in the table.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's one of those games, again, differences. Team had a bit of quality to finish it. And I think, when you lack a little bit of quality in the final third, or you lack having those creative players available, ultimately cost you. It's what the Premier League is about. You need strength and depth. And, again, you look at some of the results, when teams are now missing players and the injuries are piling up, the results are there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe, and leave us some comments in the box below as always.